So, hi, my name's James.
Virginia Schutte. Nice
Pleasure
to
to meet you, Virginia. So, Virginia, tell me, what do you do at UGA?
So I am a grad student in the Odum School of Ecology. I'm in my 6th year, and I study ecosystem engineers, and they literally engineer an ecosystem. So it's things like corals that make a reef, trees that make a forest, grasses that make a plain, and you know why they're important. You know, if an entire forest disappears, all the stuff that lives there will disappear also. I work on mangroves, which are trees that live at the edge of the ocean. You may have seen them in southern Florida or in pictures of the Bahamas, Belize, lots of places like that. And they're really fun to work in as a scientist because you need a lot less permits than you do for corals, so you can cut them up, you can rearrange them, so you can really understand them very well. And they're also important to society because many of the things that feed people in tropical countries that live on coral reefs as adults actually are born or grow up in the mangroves. So I'm working on what changes the structure that they make and then how that changes the ecosystem as a whole.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit more about your research, Virginia.
Sure. So if you are like most people in the world and you enjoy seafood, at least occasionally, you will know that snappers, you know what, I'm going to say that again. Most people in the world enjoy some sort of seafood regularly, and a lot of that seafood, things like snappers and groupers, come from the world's tropical oceans. In the edges of the ocean in the tropics, there are trees called mangroves, and this is where a lot of those creatures live as babies. I study what they like about mangroves and how we can make better habitat for them so we have more and healthier seafood.
That, by the way, was very well done. So, what exactly are mangroves?
So if you imagine, have you ever seen a cypress swamp here in southern Georgia? It's a tree with a regular trunk, regular canopy, but they have crazy roots that come off of the trunk in arcs, in little rainbows. And it's amongst those roots, which get flooded with a little bit of seawater, that the fish will hide in the shadows from the things that eat them.
And so this is the environment that they grow up in?
Yes.
And what exactly is it about the mangroves that they like? Is it just the right habitat for them?
Exactly, it's the right habitat. So if you think of a place where you can hide from your bullies when you're in middle school, a little dark corner somewhere, that's exactly what this is like.
So they're hiding from predators and all that kind of thing. Okay, so is there anything in particular, is there any threat to mangroves right now?
Yes, and actually it's a really fun place to be as a scientist because you hear in the news a lot about how things seem hopeless for the world. There's a lot of causes that people are being asked to donate money to or to put their time into so we can save the environment. Mangroves are one cause that you can safely put your money and time into because we are their biggest threat. So if we can figure out what we are doing to harm them and change that, they will have a chance to thrive in the future.